Hi everyone, welcome back to Through Alchemy. So today's reading is going to be all about how your person is thinking and feeling, and more importantly, what have they realized about you and your connection. We have three piles from the left to right. The first pile is Moss Agate. The second pile is Selenite. And the third pile is Citrine. Pause if you need a little bit longer. Pick the one which calls your name the most. Now I'm going to begin with pile number 1. Hello, pile number 1. If you chose the Moss Agate, this is going to be your reading. So the card that you chose is Seraph of 963 Hearts. Before we begin interpreting the cards, I do have pre-shuffled cards, so I'm going to lay that out for you. Alright, so what we have over here is emotional freedom in reverse, Phoenix rising, trickster energy, which talks about transcending conventions, stuffiness, and predictable behavior. We have Seraph of 963 Hearts. We have luck is on your side, resolving conflict in reverse, intuition in reverse, and student with the light attribute, humility, devotion to knowledge, openness to lifelong learning. For the tarot cards, we have Four of Wands in reverse, Knight of Cups, Two of Swords, Hermit, High Priestess in reverse, and the Knight of Pentacles. Major signs that I see is Pisces and Virgo. Also, we do have Sagittarius with luck is on your side. Now, I feel pile number 1, what your person has majorly realized is a lot about the fact that they have been triggered by this connection. And with the emotional freedom in reverse, this person requires a lot more time to release themselves from their past pain. I think that this is someone who is quite, I'm getting the word philanthropic. They have quite a lot of Aquarian energy over here. Aquarius is an energy that is humanitarian. They're quite intellectual, they're a sign, but they're also somebody who kind of avoids a lot of emotional conflicts, or I'm getting the word drama. Now, with the Four of Wands in reverse and the Knight of Cups could have indicated a situation between the both of you where there was anticipated commitment, or I would say something that is quite official between the both of you. And I feel like with the Four of Wands in reverse, this could have resulted into a situation or a scenario where the both of you weren't able to make this successful. I think that this person is quite intellectual. I think that this is somebody that can easily manipulate other people. I think that this is somebody who can be, I wouldn't say that they're purposely manipulative, but I think that this person does have a demeanor of getting what they want, because they give me very strong magician energy over here. With the Seraph of 963 Hearts, this person realizes that they need to let go of negativity now. With the High Priestess in reverse and the Intuition in reverse, definitely indicates that they know that they were not able to act according to their best self. They were not showing up in their highest potential, with their highest potential. I feel like one of the major things that they're seeing over here is that I think that this is a past energy with the Two of Swords and the Hermit. This person has probably taken out the time to understand what do they really want. And I have to be kind of honest, I think that this person is not in a very cohesive energy as of now, because they're not free from their own pain. So it's kind of like a fickle minded energy. Like sometimes maybe you energetically feel this person coming closer towards you, or sometimes just feeling like they're defensive. And I think with luck on your side, I think that this person definitely sees you as someone who has been lucky for them, who has immensely pushed them to do better in life. With the Knight of Pentacles, there could have been an energy where this person was taking things too slowly, or they were just not that, they were kind of lethargic is what I'm feeling. And I think that this is because of that energy where they add a lot of pain holding themselves back. Now, this could have resulted as to a separation between the both of you because of the Four of Wands. I feel like this person, I'm picking up on Aries, heavy Aries over here. I feel like this person could have, because all the images that I see over here have this sort of poker face where the person is sad, they're depleted, they don't really have much enthusiasm for the way that they're leading their life, and this person could could have been quite depleted in their energy levels. And I think that this is a lot about them really taking care of themselves right now. I think that if there was a conflict between the both of you, this person could be a little dicey whether things can resolve between the both of you, with the luck is on your side and resolving conflict in reverse. I think that this gives me a probability cause, like this person is trying to understand their best next move. I think that this is somebody that is quite calculated in life. I think that it would be safe to say that they don't like to take too many risks when it comes to love, and commitment is a big deal for them, because with the Knight of Pentacles, this is somebody that once they decide what they want, they really go out there for it. I think with the High Priestess in reverse, this person and the Two of Swords, this can really indicate that something they need to see about this connection is almost something that they don't want to absorb. Now, with the trickster energy, this person could have had self-fulfilling prophecies because of their own pain. Now, what's the optimistic side of this reading is almost like, because of what has happened in the past, this person is in a contemplative state, and I'm afraid I can't give you an answer as to what exactly it is, because the Two of Swords is not giving me much about. It's been clarified by the Hermit. It's a lot about things that probably this person is keeping close to their chest. This person could be keeping an eye on you, maybe energetically or spying, but I get heavily that this person has been trying to shut a door to their past, something that was related to their past where they could have gotten hurt really badly. And this person with the Phoenix rising 32 could be very significant. That reduces to 5, it's a lot about changes. Then 21 with the Seraph reduces to 3. So I think majorly this person is somebody that doesn't take defeat, okay? And I'm hearing from spirit, irrespective of what your opinion has formed about them, it's a lot about what I am experiencing is that this person is somebody that still fights through things. I see that with the Student card as well. It says humility, devotion to knowledge, openness to lifelong learning. This is somebody who definitely is open to improving themselves, even if it takes a lot of time. With the Knight of Pentacles, this is somebody that doesn't exactly give up on themselves. They kind of, there's this quote which says, if you're tired, learn to rest, not to quit. So it's almost like this person might be taking their own time in this separation, or if you're in communication, I get more that this could be a communication pile. It doesn't have to be, but somewhere along the lines, I think that this person is really trying to heal themselves. They're trying to listen to their own intuition, because comparatively in the past, they were so triggered by your presence, they could not understand how they were being self-destructive. Excuse me. I think that they face difficulty in taking perhaps constructive criticism about their own behavior. It's almost that kind of a behavior where, um, they can tell certain things to another person, but they can't take the same feedback for themselves. I think this also comes from a place of perfectionism. This person could have been brought up in a very strict environment where they feel like they can't show their weaknesses. So whereas this person definitely puts use to their intellectual abilities at the best, like they optimize their resources, I think that this is someone who also feels like you are an efficient person yourself. So they see a reflection within you. All your good traits, all your amazing qualities, this person feels like you guys can work really well together. But they also understand that irrespective of whatever your contribution was to this situation, they understand that for them to have a collaborative affair with anyone or a relationship, they have to free themselves from their past, and this is precisely what they're doing. This is not somebody who's this is not somebody who is taking defeat, but this is definitely somebody who does not rush into things. They take their time, and especially when it comes to themselves, they take their time. This could be a very private person. With the hermit, this could be sort of like, I'm getting a lone wolf energy. This is somebody who does not like to take too many opinions from outside. That could also make them very sensitive to harsh criticism. But I think this is someone who likes to keep their own private affairs. They don't purposely like to talk a lot about things that they're going through. I think this person also is prone to become antisocial. I think comparatively, this could be a result of maybe this person feeling really down in the dumps. It could also be, um I don't know if minor depression is some kind of terminology, but this person could be quite sad, let's say that. So they take their time, they don't like showing people that they're sad, they don't like showing their weaknesses. And I think that one thing Spirit is highlighting is that when this person opens themselves up to another person, it's like they're really showing you how sensitive they are inside. I'm getting Cancer, Sun, Moon, Rising. So they are sort of like, the Cancer, like it's a crab, right? When it feels unsafe, it goes back into its shell to protect itself. So this person keeps up a sort of like, I wouldn't say facade, but it's just the way that they have learned to survive. And this could have quite affected you, because this person, they have a really good poker face. Like they'll probably just, I'm getting that instance where it's like, when somebody has a crush on somebody else in high school and they don't want to let other people know, they're probably going to be the most disinterested in the person that they're actually very interested in. So this is someone who probably doesn't show their emotions really quick. But I think they're also realizing that they need to become more emotionally open. And it's not that this person is incapable of being emotional and opening that side up to you or anyone. I think that it just requires a lot of work on their own end to put down their defenses. And I think that this is not something that you can just, be like, well, why can't you hurry? Why can't you trust me? This is something that this person needs their own time. It's like, I think that this person is very used to working alone. So it's difficult for them to work on other people's timelines. So they kind of like, I get a very emperor energy. Like I picked up on Aries in the beginning, right? Thank you, Spirit. So they kind of just work with things according to their own pace. They're not very quick, is what I feel. They think things through. And I think that one of the things that they do know in their heart is that they do want you. With the Knight of Cups, this person was ready for a commitment, is what I'm seeing over here. This person was not, I wouldn't say that they were at a refusal, but it was just the past. So it's kind of like dissecting what you understand about them and what actually goes on underneath, because I think that they really hide a lot of things. um and with the High Priestess in reverse, it's like they know that they need to reveal this to you, but with the Knight of Pentacles over here, this is giving me that they will do that in their own time. I think this is someone who believes in having friendships. This is someone who believes in being your person's best friend. Like they really appreciate, I think, relationships. And this is somebody that could have a lot of friends that were from their childhood or like decades. This is not somebody who likes to switch things up quite a lot. And I think that this reading is more based upon kind of like Spirit explaining this to you as to how this person is. And what they're realizing is that the ratio of how I'm explaining things about this person is so that you can put the pieces of the puzzle together and understanding that what seems on the surface is not what is underneath. Looks can deceive with this person. This person is very good at sort of like putting up a facade. They're kind of like a chameleon. They're adaptive. They're good at, their surviving skills are very good. I think that this person usually is not that distracted, but I think that something is really draining them. It could also be a choice whether do they want to continue with this connection or not. I think that they don't understand at the pace that they should take this forward with, but I think that they do understand that they want to repair the damage between the both of you. I think this person is also somebody who's realizing that you're somebody that is capable of being a very devoted partner, and maybe that they need to change their own behavior, which has become quite predictable. And they do realize that they need to change themselves, they need to change for themselves. I think that this person is trying to connect with their intuition through creative talents or skills that they have. They could also be investing in other things that make them happy. But I think at the moment or in the past, this could be a recurrent energy. They are healing themselves through something major. They're trying to close out cycles, which majorly hinders their ability to show you this very happy go lucky side. I think that you've not seen this person smile too often, and I think it's also because their defenses kind of come down in front of you. It's almost like you can see through the mask that they put. They're probably very different with other people, acquaintances, or maybe um, close friends. Like they're happy, but I think that this person is able to show you their darker aspects, or they're just visible to you. And I think that most prominently what you have seen is that this person is not very satisfied with their life, or it's almost like like you think that why is this person not happy with me, and it's kind of like they can't fake it with you. It's like you trigger them in such way that they can't just project this happy-go-lucky vibe unless and until they're actually happy. So you can kind of again differentiate between their behavior when they're actually vibing high and when they're not. So you can actually tell about this person's behavior, and I think that they're realizing this, that their arrogance or their pride, in a way, pride is sort of like again the facade that we put over our fears. And I think that this person tries to live up to an image which is like, I'm okay, I'm okay, I'm doing good, but it's like, no, you're not doing good, you need time to heal. I think that this person has been carrying a lot of trauma, and specifically with the perfectionism, I think it really comes down to how they present themselves to be completely okay, but it's like they respect long lasting relationships, whether it's friendship, family, or romantic partners, because they don't have to particularly put up this facade. So something that they might have struggled with is letting you know that they're kind of going through a difficult time for a time frame in their life, and they probably didn't want to be perceived as a bummer in your life, so they could have tried to pretend like everything is good. And I think they're also realizing that they don't have to do that, but as of now this is so time consuming for them. They're really self-absorbed, and I feel like it's for good reasons, that they really need to put themselves first before entering any relationship, because they don't know how to resolve things between the both of you. They're not very, very connected with their intuition. They're just doing things that make them happy. And it's a lot about just understanding that only this person can make themselves happy, right? So I do have a few more cards. We have Show the World the Real You, Full Moon in Aquarius. Thank you, Spirit. That confirms everything else that I just said. Nothing will come out of this situation. Void, of course, Moon in reverse. No place like home. Time to go. Hold your vision. So I mainly do see over here that I spoke about this person not feeling like they can exactly show themselves to this world. They still have this kind of thinking that vulnerability is weakness. And I think that this person tries to carry a lot of their burden alone. They do think about, I would say, partnership quite a lot because they sometimes struggle asking for help. They want to be perceived as somebody that can be reliable. And I think that they might have not given you that impression. That would apply for a few people over here. But there's also a part of them which understands that if they want reliability, they also have to offer that to you. With no place like home and the Knight of Cups and Four of Wands, no place like home is 50, which reduces to 5. We have a recurrent number 5. So this can say about things where we don't feel comfortable in our own skin. We feel uneasy about self-expression. We have something about show the world the real you, again, authentic self-expression. And with time to go, I think this is someone who is trying to release this past version of themselves, which is, so basically I'm getting two, I would say, two parts. Now Spirit has clarified that, okay, with the Two of Swords, we have time to go in the Hermit. It's a lot about this person making a decision whether they want to choose the same person that they have been or whether they want to be another person. Now this could be someone who is self-reliant but also hyper-independent. This is not somebody that's completely dysfunctional, but they're so used to being alone, it's difficult for them to adjust with another person. It's difficult for them to be cooperative. And I think that this is specifically about romantic relationships. They don't know how to make adjustments in matters of heart. And they kind of are coming across this decision that to be with another person, they have to show their vulnerabilities, they have to show their weaker parts. And I think that this would call for compassion on both sides, where you accept each other for exactly how you are and not trying to sort of like force the person to put up a facade when they're not happy, is what I'm hearing. So it's like giving them that space so that they can be however they want to be, however messy or however choppy they want to be, but not attach your sort of like happiness to how they behave. So I think that what this connection is bringing about is a place where you don't take other people's insecurities or behaviors personally. Now you could have taken this person's unhappiness personally, and it's not related to you. This person is healing from their past, and they didn't see this before, that they kind of had to just extract the memory or the lesson from their past trauma. They just had to extract the lesson from their past trauma and not hold on to the harsh memories of it. And now this person is in a reevaluation. I think that they're in a previous timeline, past timeline, where they're thinking about a lot of things that could have happened before you. Now this could relate to their childhood or their parents. So they're precisely thinking with the whole the vision. I think that this really confirms, thank you Spirit, that they're holding on to a lot of trauma which they know that they need to release. And it's kind of like when you have so much trauma, your personality wraps around it. It becomes like that. So it's difficult for this person, but I think that they're slowly making that move. This is somebody who's not refusing the transformation, but they're just going at their pace. And I think that is respectful, because it's not working according to your timing. It's working according to their divine timing on their own journey. And I think you have to make peace with the fact that they will move according to how things are planned out for them, and things will move according to how they're planned out for you, right? So I think maybe pile number 1, there's a suggestion that I'm getting over here, that if you're too fixated upon this person showing up for you, it means that you're not showing up for yourself in some place. Are you attaching your happiness to how this person shows up for you or remains in your life? So that would be a good food for thought. But I feel like this person is trying to still somewhere, they're holding your memories close to their heart with no place like home. They're holding it. Maybe this was a separation pile and they feel like they have to be away from you for a while. Oh, that rhymed. This person could be a poet or a writer or a singer. I'm also getting dancer. Very creative expression within them. And I think that they have not completely explored this talent, because again, it was preoccupied with trauma responses. This person could have also struggled with some sort of substance abuse. I think that I'm getting for somebody a lot of drinking over here with all the cups that I have. But I think hold your vision is really important. I'm going to open the other cards that we have. Buy the book and to be fair. So definitely they do want to make things right. I did mention that they don't know how to do that. There's the fickle-minded energy where they are not feeling brave enough to take that risk right now, whether they will be able to face your rejection if you decide 1% not to hear them out. Perhaps it's not about complete reconciliation, but if you just take the sort of like truce, I think that they do want to have something that's quite traditional with you. This is not somebody that was completely doubtful of commitment with you. This is not somebody that was purposely trying to be unfair to you or purposely trying to sabotage this for themselves or hurt you. If you thought that, pile number one, it's just somebody who struggles with themselves. And when they're not able to justice by themselves, how can they do that for you? So this is somebody who does have a moral compass within them. This is somebody who does understand the importance of treating other people nicely. I think that this is somebody who has learned quite a few harsh lessons, but also who has faced the harshness of the world that has made them a little bit cold and isolated in their approach towards life. They don't like particularly counting upon other people because they have been let down. So I think that this is again that sort of two-way street where they decide which street do I want to pick. Is it going to be again going on this isolated journey where I just do things by myself, or is it going to be that I partner up with someone because it gets a little tough and lonely sometimes? All right, so they do want to be fair not just to you, but they want to be fair to themselves as well. So that's why they're making this decision to heal themselves, so that they don't rob themselves out of an opportunity to actually have that kind of romantic camaraderie with another person, right? They are somebody who does want that commitment in their life. They're just a little slow moving because they really like to plan things out and they don't like to fail. Is the reason why they plan things out, because they don't like things to just fall apart. I think by the book card really indicates with no place like home that this person wants things to have a positive assurity to them, like a guarantee facet, where it's like, I want to see that this works out for me because I can't deal with any more loss in my life. So if they ran away, if they didn't participate as much as you'd like to, it's not that they didn't find you interesting enough. It's just that they kind of couldn't see that guarantee facet in the moment, and that's precisely the reason why they probably could have hurt you. All right. So before we conclude, I do have an advice card for you, pile number one. We have finding the path. You are the driver and the navigator in reverse. So we're going to read the energy upright. Finding the path and saying driver and navigator. Now this gives me a lot about your own internal GPRS, which is your intuition and your heart. The heart is the driver and the intuition is the navigator. It's a lot about you understanding your way. You might be feeling stuck around this person or their journey. And I did mention that there's a possible chance for a few of you that you're placing too much expectations on this person to show up for you, when you clearly know that they're not completely emotionally available for a relationship. And you have to ask yourself, why am I don't want to hurt your feelings, but why are you feeling so nosy about somebody's life when it has to be all about you? Your life should kind of revolve around you. It's not in a selfish manner, but you should be the center of your attention, not another person. So I think that this is a lot about you pulling back and understanding where are you really going. If this person is meant to be in your life, you both will meet at some point, your paths will align. But as of now, the way I see it, that you both are parallel lines, you're growing together. Even if not in the physical realm, you're parallelly energetically growing because of each other as well. So just have some gratitude in this moment for yourself and for this person, because you both have been through quite a lot is what I feel. And the reason why you get a ray on your path is because you're probably trying to be somebody else. You're just not listening to your own self. So I think that this is to understand that just give yourself the time to understand yourself more than you're trying to understand this person. All right. So pile number one, this was your reading. I'm gonna leave it here. I really do hope that you found a message. If you did, please hit the like button, subscribe for more, hit the bell icon so you know whenever I upload next. Let me know down in the comment section how that resonated, and I'm gonna see you guys in another one. Bye. Hello pile number two, if you chose the Selenite, this is going to be your reading. So the card that we have here is Sacred Scar. Before we begin interpreting the cards, I do have a few pre-shuffled cards, so I'm just going to lay them out for you. Alright, so the cards that we have are Page of Swords, clarified by 8 of Wands in reverse, Hermit in reverse with 6 of Wands in reverse, Chariot and 2 of Pentacles. Major signs that we have is Virgo with Hermit, Chariot as Cancer. Then we have Forgiveness, Courage, number 30. We have Balance, Spirituality and Practicality, Pisces. In reverse, we have Thief in Light attribute, sheds light upon the potential wealth within you that can never be stolen. We have Orphaned, number 5, with Sexuality, Sacred Scar, 11, and Energy is gaining momentum. One of the main things that I see over here with the Sacred Scar, that is such a powerful card that we have. It talks about the wisdom that we gain through the pain and life experience that we have endured those challenges. I feel like the Thief really talks about the same thing, sheds light upon the potential wealth within you that can never be stolen. I think this is someone who could have mistreated you quite a lot. This is someone who could have gave you a sense of feeling left out in the cold. You could have felt abandoned by this person. They could have ran away or ghosted you or abruptly ended things between the both of you. There could be a point where this person just out of nowhere stopped talking to you with the 8 of Wands in reverse. I see that with the Chariot and the 2 of Pentacles. This is someone who is still balancing themselves out. It's a no-brainer in this reading that we have 2 of Pentacles with the Chariot, which are kind of similar energies but same but different. With the balance, practicality and spirituality in reverse, this kind of just confirms my suspicion that this is someone who is realizing that they are not completely healed to be in a romantic connection, or the way, I would say precisely cognitively, what their 3D self perceives and has understood, is the fact that they need to forgive people in their past. Now, one of the things that I noticed with Sexuality and Orphaned, those are two very important key players in your reading. Orphaned is a card which talks definitely about abandonment wounds, but with Sexuality, it talks about your ultimate self-expression. Now, this person is not tapped into their highest potential. This is someone who is yet to understand their abilities in this world and how much, because of what they've endured, has empowered them and given them life experience to actually tackle any different challenge. This person is quite fierce, okay, with the Courage card that we have over here. This is not somebody that is I would say exactly a bad person, okay? However you perceive, I'm sure you're entitled to your own opinion, but I think that this is someone who is just a little bruised in their journey. This is someone who's been carrying a lot of trauma, and the way that they behave with other romantic partners, I think that pile number 2, if you think that this person has only done you wrong, that's not the truth. Otherwise, if you have circumstantial evidence about other people, that would imply, but this person has poorly treated other people in their past as well, and this is precisely because they want to have a one-up. Now, people who want to have one up are mainly people that are terrified of being left out in the cold. They face too much difficulty in putting all their eggs in one basket. And this is somebody who struggles with commitment because they're one foot in, one foot out. This person was probably moving things along with you without having a secure decision made. And they did not think it through. This person, I have to be honest, and I'm afraid if that's hurtful, pile number two, but this person was not exactly aiming for the victory that you were in this connection. They were already fickle minded because they still have a lot of pain, and everything that what they were doing was empowered through their pain. It was not anything that was on you, that you were not worthy of their commitment, love, and full commitment. They could have lacked with generosity, in terms of generosity, communication. This person could have not offered you the bare minimum as well. And kind of what they're realizing right now, this could be a long separation pile, that doesn't have to be, but it has been a few months is what I'm getting. This is somebody who has recently, I'm getting recently, in a few days, past few days, they have realized that they were very disconnected before you from spirituality. This person did not precisely believe in the unseen forces of life, and however you existed with sacred scar, I think that really represents your energy as well. You both are counterparts. And I think that your journey together is a lot about empowering each other through the pain that you have really been through. I'm getting the image of a lot of trees growing. It's almost like, how the roots also deepen. It's almost like what you see on the surface level is just a tincture of what they've been through, the way they behave, but there's a lot underneath that still needs to come out and be purged, healed, and most of all loved. This person does not know how to love themselves, and I think that they don't have a full grasp upon this. So this is something that I am mentioning that might not be one of their realizations, but it is sort of like a piece of puzzle in the reading that we have today. So why see forgiveness over here? I think this person cognitively, their 3D self, does recognize that they need a lot of courage to forgive themselves for the way they have treated you. And this forgiveness is a part of that lesson where they learn to love themselves. This is a part of self-love where they understand that they made mistakes, or maybe repetitive mistakes, with not just you. I'm getting heavy emphasis from spirit that it's not just you. Don't take this behavior personally. This person has been hurting other people along their way as well, and it's because they don't feel good enough from inside. The Hermit in reverse can indicate a reckless energy in a person, and the Six of Wands in reverse can also indicate an inflated ego. Now, this person could have come across as very well put together, and why I said that it's just a tip of iceberg. What you see within this person, there's a lot more pain that this person has kept hidden deep down. So, meeting with you was just a very focal point in their journey where all of this came to a burning point, like a saturation point, where even the universe was like, let's take it out, let's get it out now. And this person could have projected that majorly onto you. They could have immediately stopped talking to you because I think that this person does have a soft corner for you, and they are very well aware of it. And with the sacred scar and the energy gaining momentum, it could have been that meeting you was an influx of all sorts of emotion: anger, tears, love, affection, but also a lot of sadness. Because the moment that they opened their hearts towards you, they started feeling their heart chakra expanding that they had kept close. This person was running away from a lot of things. I think that's a no brainer for you. I think you have clearly seen, assessed, and evaluated this person's behavior, and you can put two and two together as to this person is not stable enough to be in a commitment because they're not satisfied with themselves. The sexuality card can also talk about with accumulation with this side that we have. It's brilliant how spirit places cards. We have sacred scar, energy gaining momentum, often sexuality. So the moment they met you, It's like the soul started activating itself, right? Certain people, and the deeper the love, the deeper they can penetrate the fears also inside, right? And why this person was precisely running away from other people is just because of the fact that they just didn't want to face the pain that they have inside, right? Opening your heart to love also leads opening your heart to the pain that has been stored inside. So them running away from you or commitment or any sort of feeling that provokes love is not indicative of their perception or their understanding of how valuable you are. It's just a perception or the feelings that you provoke within them. And as harsh it can be, it's the sole purpose of divine connections. You have to fulfill your karma with them, right? And karma is about just learning your lessons and evolution, most of all, ascension. So I do feel like this person has been pushed onto a path of self-evaluation, self-awareness, and this person has majorly underestimated their ability to grasp, sort of like extract the lessons from the painful memories that they have stored inside. So this person is not healed through them because they just suppressed the pain. They did not try to understand what the pain was telling them. And I think that this is something also you could use for your own journey, where you're feeling like this pain is useless, but you have to understand that pain is the price that we pay for consciousness. It's almost like pain really alarms us, right? Pain really tells us like, oh my god, something's really not right inside, and we have to look inside what's hurting. It's like repairing a mechanical engine or a car, right? Looking inside, checking every screw or a wire, and refueling and everything. Is sort of like a process, right? And it's a metaphor for the way that you look inside yourself and take out those bruised parts and give them love. So, this is where we come back with the forgiveness card. This person understands that they need to give that time to themselves. But I have to be honest, they're not precisely making it a priority. They don't because it's hurtful. um, Healing sometimes is easy and is very painful when you have a lot of suppressed emotions, because the longer that you let it fester inside, it's like it spreads out, right? It becomes deeper. So I think that this person was not at all spiritual before they met you. They did not really believe in the unseen forces and the meaning of life. They were not philosophical. They were not introspective, to be very basic about this. One of the main things that I see is that this person lacked self awareness. And right now, on this journey, there's a lot of psychic downloads that I'm getting, a very heightened crown chakra. Also, with the purple that we have, and I spoke about the heart chakra, we have green over here with Pisces in reverse. This can definitely talk about sort of like somebody who sits with their feelings and tries to understand and dissect what the pain is telling them. It can feel like a very overwhelming process, which this person did not like, considering that they were not spiritual, they were not tapped in with their emotions, they would just suppress a lot of things. Eight of Wands in reverse can indicate heavy suppression. They could struggle with some sort of substance abuse or addiction or coping mechanism that is not very healthy for them. And I think that this person also goes back and forth with that way of living, because the moment that they come to sobriety or reality, I would rather say, it really hits them. So this is all in binary with the sixth house I'm getting, which is a lot about daily life and routines, which is also kind of represented with the Virgo energy that we have with the Hermit in reverse. So this person has spent most of their time or their recent years trying to suppress the pain that they feel inside. You know, this hollowness that we feel, the sinking heart feeling. There's a lot of deep emotions that I feel over here that are completely channeled from an unconditional love perspective by spirit, of course. And I feel the energy that spirit is giving me, that you might be feeling precisely very harsh towards this person right now. And I would say that you might have your own reasons. That's why I said that you're entitled to your own opinion, right? But this reading is a lot about you understanding the overview of how do they process things. Considering they're not very very deep into their journey, they're just scratching the surface, or they have began off a while back. I see this as being a newer connection. Doesn't have to be, but the process seems like it's just getting started in a way. And I feel like that's why there's a lot of pent up emotions that come out onto you, because this person, or just it's a human tendency. Okay, it's not just this person, it's a human tendency to find somebody to blame for our pain. And that could also be you, where you're trying to find reasons to blame this pain onto this person, so that it just feels easier to carry, right? But it doesn't heal us. So this is for you and this person both to understand that playing the blame game will not get you anywhere. And it's not to hurt your feelings, but for you to understand that even if you blame this person and this person accepts it and they apologize to you, you might think that the apology will make you feel better and help you unload your heart. And it might, to a degree, but it will not help you heal your heart. At the end of the day, that is your job. So what this person was trying to do, running away from their own feelings, is like hoping, or maybe not even thinking about that, but if one person, they were hoping that they would meet you and you would just completely heal them. That's not how things work, right? It's almost like running away from those feelings is just running away from yourself, and nobody can look inside and find things that you can feel, right? So I'm gonna take out a few more cards that I have. We have, look at the bigger picture in reverse, Sagittarius. We have never ending story in reverse. And the soul in reverse, number 37. You have 37 twice. So this is a mirroring energy between the both of you. There could be a possibility that you're looking for somebody to blame for how things have panned out in this connection. Maybe it feels like the time wasn't right. Maybe it feels like circumstances weren't aligning. But you have to understand that I kind of believe, personally, take it or leave it, that there's no wrong timing, all right? If it's meant to be, it will align in the perfect manner for you to just be with each other. And that might contradict with a lot of people's theories, but that's just an opinion. And I think that with 37 and 37, it reduces to 10. So this is a cycle yet to be completed. Now, I think that this person has been addicted to drama. Never ending story in reverse can indicate going in cycles and their need to create chaos, or maybe this person does things to provoke reactions out of you because they feel validated by that. I think this is also an introspective look within their insecurities. I think this person is also struggling with body image issues. This is not precisely somebody that is vibing quite high or used to as well, because I think there is an undertone of substance abuse, which is very natural for you to pull your vibration down. And I think that their ability to untangle themselves from drama, or maybe play the blame game, or have a lot of conflict with you, is just because of the fact that they try to get validated by provoking you, and perhaps you do the same. Perhaps you also like to have certain conversations which let you know, maybe in a dysfunctional pattern, the both of you do this, where you want to know the other person cares. It's not in a very healthy form of communication, but it's in different ways where you try to extract that validation because you're not feeling completely worthy of this connection, or at least this person. So they try to provoke you to get reactions out of you. If you've suspected that, that's probably just a confirmation. And I think with the soul in reverse, this really just confirms the suspicion that I had, that this person is sort of somebody who did not believe in spirituality, the unseen forces in life. And I think right now there is still maybe a little bit of disbelief, but Spirit keeps bringing me back to the card of Thief, which says, sheds light on potential wealth within you that can never be stolen. So they're trying to raise themselves from a lack mentality. And I think that this is a soap procedure. This is unbinding a lot of things. I'm getting the image of a package with about 30 layers of plastic over it, and plastic is sort of like quote unquote fake, right? So it's a lot about deep penetration through that trauma and facade and pride and ego and all those matrix conditioning that this person has sort of entrap themselves within, and a part of it would unfold. What I think would come in the future is somewhere where this person will start understanding that why do they create so much drama is also because they like drama, they like to get validated through that way. And that could also be in you because we have mirroring numbers over here. So even if you don't do it in the exact same way, there's a way that you have learned growing up how to get validated from that person. Maybe your parents had this dysfunctional pattern of communication, maybe they argue a lot, and that's something that the both of you kind of feel calm after because you feel validated from inside. I'm getting a smirk, so somebody just feels really satisfied after whatever way you get validated by this person. It's also within them, and the ways that they provoke you is also something that you do, whether you realize that or not completely. So I'm going to take out a few more cards. We have Strength 38, so that's progression. We have Priest in Shadow attribute, violates the trust of your spiritual community, seduced by your own spiritual role. And Femme Fatale, Shadow attribute, inappropriate use of sensuality, attachment to money and power. So let's talk about Femme Fatale. I do feel that with the Six of Wands, that's a major card over here that indicates a lot of inflated ego and why this person behaves the way they do. Something Spirit is pointing out that the progression of this energy is very mirrored over here. So see how that fits with you. But something about this person is kind of like power hungry, okay? And it's not to judge them or use derogatory terms for their struggles, because there's some reason why they feel like they need to have this sort of upper hand or just this strength that is sort of like attained through acquiring other things in life, per se, money and power, right? Because it's a way that society works where we feel like money brings us power, and why we want power is so that nobody else can make us feel weak or taken advantage of. Now this could be a reason why this person has manipulative behaviors, that could be because of their sexual expression. And I think that this person also feels quite ashamed of the fact that they see you with, I spoke about the sacred scar, that they see you as someone who is quite angelic or just innocent, perceived innocent, okay? I think that this person feels embarrassed and kind of like ashamed about their own behavior or the way that they fantasize about you. They're realizing that, I would say from a higher perspective, that they don't understand is that that is the normal characteristics of a divine connection. But because they are not completely tapped into their spirituality, they don't understand the draw that they have towards you, the magnetism that they feel being a counterpart. So I think that this person, even though that they feel this energy, they could have tried to exploit or lure you in just by maybe using their sexual appeal, because this person does have that divine potency. I mean, just because you're embodying certain karmic traits, that doesn't make you any less of divine being, right? So I think that there's a lot of non-judgment that is required in this connection. It needs to be a judgment-free zone for the both of you so that you can bond with each other, and that would create strength, trust, and reliability in this connection. And that is something that this person wants to give you, because maybe they could have judged you for being spiritual. They could have thought that this is, like woo-woo and all that Wicca and magic. They don't have the full grasp, and anything that you don't understand, you tend to dismiss it or make fun of it, right, when you don't understand the intensity of it. So this is precisely what I see over here. This person could have judged you for your lifestyle, and you could have judged this person for the way that they lead their life. All right, so before we conclude pile number 2, I do have an advice card for you. Union of love, embrace the beloved within your heart. Again, I think this talks about the last part of your reading, which is a lot about a non-judgment zone where you don't judge each other for how you have become, because we had the card Thief, which talks about shedding light onto wisdom that you have from within that can never be robbed. it's a lot about the internal resources and appreciating each other's good values, because I'm sure that there's something that you can see in this person that other people probably can't, and it baffles you a little bit, and there's something that this person can see within you that maybe their friends can't. Maybe this person does talk about you. I think that they do. If this is very new, definitely this person has spoken to their friends about you, or some confidant camaraderie. So I think that this person definitely is marching upon this road where they do appreciate you more. They realize that they probably underestimated you and your ability to actually be a compassionate person, and through experiencing and witnessing your love and your kindness. I spoke about the perceived innocence. I think it's not just perceived, it's felt, right? The honesty within you is felt through this person. I think that this would help you to understand this person as well, beneath all the layers of plastic, metaphorically speaking, the facade that they portray, because underneath there's a very scared inner child that kind of refuses and causes a lot of resistance to love because it doesn't know what actually love means. So I think that this would be for you to also understand and nurture your inner child, where maybe you still have ways which are dysfunctional, because that's the only way you understand love works. So I think it's about embracing yourself first and your inner child and soothing it, and looking at the pain that is aching within that inner child, so that you can actually come in union with yourself. Union of love, embrace the beloved within your heart. It talks about the inner child that resides within your heart. All right. So pile number 2, this was your reading. I really do hope that you found a message that was helpful. If you did, please do hit the like button, subscribe for more, hit the bell icon so you know whenever I upload next. Let me know down in the comment section how that resonated, and I'm going to see you guys in another one. Bye. Hello pile number 3, if you chose the Citrine, this is going to be your reading. So the card that we have is Basket of 174 Hearts. So before we interpret the card, I do have a few pre-shuffled cards that I'm just going to spread them out for you. Alright, so the cards that we have are Six of Wands in reverse, Six of Swords in reverse, High Priestess, Hierophant, Queen of Swords in reverse, Sun, clarified by the Knight of Pentacles. Major signs that we have are High Priestess, Pisces, Hierophant, Taurus, Sun, Leo. We have Basket of 174 Hearts, Tough Cycle, end of Tough Cycle approaches, full moon in Capricorn, so we have Capricorn as well. We have your hard work is paying off with Capricorn as well, twice over here. We have Breathe, clarified to Vampire in the shadow attribute, which says depleting others for your psychic survival, chronic complaining, and codependency. We have Transformation 24, Distorted Feminine, clarifying inner child. So there's heavy Libra, Aquarius, Gemini, and Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, Sun, Moon, Rising. Now we begin off with this part of the reading, which is Transformation in reverse, hard work paying off, inner child, and distorted feminine. This could be someone who has realized or is at the verge of realizing. I think that this is a self-awareness cycle wrapping up. It's an introspective phase for this person. I'm kind of getting with the Knight of Pentacles a little bit of Hermit energy, because we have this big bear. I think that this is someone who did not understand the ebb and flow of relationships, so they were just very fearful. This person could struggle with an abandonment wound. And I think with the distorted feminine, this, again, very specifically within a child, this really talks about this person unable to actually freely explore this connection because they were too fearful of sort of like imagining or anticipating the worst possible scenario that could come out of the situation. I think that their ability to trust in the universe for this situation to actually work in their favor was very less compared to how much they were anticipating the worst out of this situation. I think that this person with the distorted feminine. There's certain sense of immaturity that I pick up, which happens to the best of us, right? When we're so fearful of losing another person, it's like when we see the transitions or the difficulties, or maybe a phase or point of conflict, or I would say challenge in a connection, sometimes we feel like it's too much hard work. And I think that this person could have felt like we can't get past it. They could have felt like it's beyond a point where I can do anything. And I think that this came from a place where they just wanted things to be smooth sailing. This could be a person who has a little bit of unrealistic expectation from relationships and love. It's like they like the idea of relationships, but sometimes they struggle in putting in the work in it. I think that with the transformation in reverse, it's not the cliche meaning of it as somebody refusing to change, but I think that this is somebody who was fearful of losing you, and they did not understand that every relationship has its ups and downs. And I think that this person could have given up, or they could have walked away from the situation. And I think that what we have mainly in the between is about their present energies or future emerging energies as well. I think that this represents future. This person is somebody who is not giving up. They don't want to give up on this. This is a very stubborn energy, because we do have Capricorn twice, which is a very ambitious zodiac sign. And we do have Hierophant over here as well, which is a lot about stability, and a lot about loyalty and partnership. So I think that this is someone who is going within. I see the Six of Swords as a very optimistic card over here. With the Knight of Pentacles sort of packed in this reading, I see that this is someone who is still moving towards you, whether it's visible in the physical realm or not. This is somebody who still wants to keep moving and improving themselves. They still want to keep hoping that this would actually come in fruition for them. With the basket of 174 hearts, this is an energy of somebody who did not realize how much probably their pain really hurts them. This could be a person who is an avoidant attachment style. And with the tough cycle approaches, I think that this is someone who used to carry on a lot of their pain and just keep walking in life. And with the breathe over here and the vampire in reverse, which said about what's stuck in my head is constant complaining. They could have put the burden of pressure onto you. I'm facing difficulty in speaking in this pile, and it's a no-brainer, because I think that this person is fearful of vulnerability with the inner child and distorted feminine. This person likes to hide their emotion, or they just become very accustomed. Spirit is correcting me that they don't like to hide their emotions. It's particularly that they don't feel safe in the ability of expressing their emotions. It makes them feel very naked, which they don't like precisely. And I think that this is somewhere where there was lack of intimacy with self. Considering if somebody is avoidant, they're avoiding themselves, it's very natural for them to avoid the conflict between two people as well. And that could be the reason why they chose to probably exit the situation in a sly manner. They could have ghosted you, they could have stopped talking to you, they could have just ended things blatantly with you, considering they have already accepted defeat about this situation. So the way I see this progressing is somebody who's realizing their fault in their own behavior. I think that this is quite brave on this person's end, because this is something that they don't usually own up to, is what I'm hearing. With the breathe over here and the vampire, I think that this is again that energy that I picked up in the beginning, having an idea of love relationship but not actually putting in the work. And this also revolves around not understanding the ebb and flow of a relationship, that there are ups and downs, but the way the dynamic changes with yourself, there's also changes in the dynamics of a relationship. And they kind of realize that they should have been a little bit more patient with you. They should have just spoken it out, had a conversation with you. Instead, they probably could have chose to take the road easiest, is to just sort of like accept defeat about the situation, that we can't really repair this, we can't go forward with this. I think one of the main things that I see over here is that this person is scared of again encountering this situation with you, or maybe they're scared that they won't get an opportunity to encounter this feels definitely like a separation pile. But with the end of tough cycle approaches and your hard work is paying off, I think that there's no doubt that this person is really trying to improve themselves. It's almost like they're preparing themselves for certain situations that might arise in the future, that they might have to think a lot about, and they're trying to prepare themselves. It's almost like, it's not like an examination, but it's kind of like preparatory, where they're trying to embrace themselves mentally to not accept defeat so quickly. Because of the inner child, I feel like this is a trapped sense of negativity, being trapped in a persona, or it could also be a mindset which really holds us. With the distorted feminine, I pick up a heavy energy of neediness. Now, neediness can vary in terms of just feeling like, I can't do this. Other people need to do this for me. A distorted feminine is someone who doesn't believe in her own capabilities to actually march forward in life and make things happen for herself. So this person, I wouldn't be presumptuous, but through the circumstantial evidence over here, I think that this person definitely accepts defeat because of their lack of confidence and trust within self to make things happen for themselves. I think that their lethargy to put in work in relationships is not the fact that they don't want you or they don't want relationships for themselves. I think it comes from a place where they're scared that things just might fall apart one day, and everything that I've put in work with hard work is paying off in transformation. It will not give me my desired outcome. But they also understand that they need to keep working at it. So this is someone who is learning from their mistakes, precisely with a hierophant that can definitely indicate as a lesson learned. Tapping into your higher self with the high priestess, this does indicate somebody who's not taking their movement forward as of now, because they understand the need to go within and take care of themselves and prepare themselves for future outcomes or possibilities. They are hoping for certain moments of happiness with you with the sun. They're hoping for a moment of clarity, but they know that it could be far off in the future because they understand that they have work to do on themselves. This is somebody who is quite self-aware at this point. They take a little time with the Knight of Pentacles. They take a little time, but this is not somebody that is incapable of understanding themselves. This is somebody that likes to understand themselves. This is somebody like who takes pride in understanding themselves, because we have the High Priestess and she's kind of so poised over here. And with the Hierophant also, we have a book which is being read. So I think that this person likes to understand themselves and other people. They're observant. I think that this is somebody who could have an entrepreneurial spirit. And one of the ways that their avoidant attachment style serves them, and I'm not at all sort of like advertising for it or rooting for it, it's almost in a way where I see that this person's healthy demeanor is that they're self-reliant. So it could be that way where they could have accepted defeat because they were like, I can probably do things better my way. And the way they were probably complaining, their shadow attribute could have come out as blaming you for all the problems in the situation, not understanding your perspective, not taking a moment to breathe out and see things from your perspective or a higher perspective as to how this can damage your relationship in the future or in the long run. So I think that this is now something that they have taken out the time, or just by universal circumstances, that they have taken out the time to understand that they were just fearful. What if this collapses? What if I put so much hard work in it and it doesn't work? So I think that this is also about taking a time to put in the work within themselves. The tough cycle approaches an end, and Bastard of 174 Hearts. This is really giving me that this person is trying to tend to those wounds, or maybe that negative pattern that exists within, that tells them that this will not work out for you, so you better back off right now. So even though that they're strengthful, they're kind of really intellectual. I think that I'm getting the word creative. They're creative, and creativity is a part where you're efficient with your resources. You know how to employ those resources, right? So this could be someone who's in finance as well. I'm getting a lot of economical background, but this is somebody that just knows how to work with things. And one thing that they probably lacked in is understanding how relationships work, because that requires a lot of EQ. And I think that they're not disabled from that ability. I think that it's enhancing the more that they're understanding. With the Queen of Swords, this can indicate lack of clarity, which is being clarified in the third row, which is the Sun and the Knight of Pentacles. It really talks about somebody who's studying this and understanding that this needs spiritual knowledge, not practical knowledge. So they were probably assessing the situation through their practicality, using too much of their logic. And now they're understanding that they need to have a balance between their spirituality and practicality. And I feel like this is again very Piscean energy with the high priestess, right? This is somebody who's trying to study themselves, study the connection. And we have a lot of camouflaging colors. We have purples, then we have these hues of yellows, and then we have this really bright green over here, which really gives me how we say about solar plexus. It's a lot about confidence, and no brainer that we have the citrine over here, which talks about confidence, your ability to make decisions and move boldly forward with it. And with the high priestess, it's backed by your inner instinct. So this person is moving forward towards you. They have gained some clarity, and it could definitely be about this realization that they gave up too quick on this situation. All right, so we're going to flip a few more cards. We have You Are Good Enough in reverse, Virgo. Again, a lot of earth energy. Message in a Bottle in reverse, number 15 reduces to 6. Child Eternal, determination to remain young in body, mind, spirit, ability to see things with fresh eyes. So this kind of really confirms my suspicion that they were not able to see things from a higher perspective. A time for healing in reverse, because they were not healed. They were running away from emotions. This is somebody that probably, and it's not to diss them off or use derogatory terms for them, it's a coping mechanism that they use, that they probably try to positively affirm themselves, and they don't understand that to actually eradicate the fear from its root cause, you have to really go deep within. So just affirming yourself will not help you heal through that. It will not remove what's already internally festered, right? So this could come from a place of feeling not worthy of love or just good things in life. And this could come from a place where this person had to grow up really quick. We do have the shadow attribute of child eternal, inability to grow up and be responsible, extreme dependency for physical security. The way I read it right now is almost the opposite. Somebody who had to really take care of themselves, somebody who had to be optimistic, somebody who had to just hope for the best for themselves and the most positive manner. They had to just have blind faith that they will make through things, and this is probably the way that they have proceeded in their life for the longest time. And they probably just keep putting a blanket over major issues. I think that this is someone who could have sabotaged the situation, and they probably thought in the beginning that I explained that, you know, they felt like this is not going to probably work out, and if you put so much work, it might just fall apart. So it's better that you don't put in the work. Time for healing in reverse can indicate that they were refusing to see this wound within themselves that was coming from a place of not feeling good enough. Now, I feel like the way that they're avoidant could also be related to hyper independence, where they've majorly done things solo. They haven't been offered help. They don't know how to count upon people because they've been let down. And I think that is also a reason which binds with a message in the bottle, which talks about you not being able to express your vulnerable emotions. It can talk about lack of intimacy with self and clear communication, where you're not able to communicate exactly how you feel. And I think that this is something that still prevails in this person's energy. I'm not going to lie, that they still struggle with vulnerability, expressing exactly how they feel about certain situations because they're not comfortable revealing that part of themselves. They don't like to be naked. I think this is someone who is an observer. And why I spoke about that self-awareness comes hand in hand, because this is someone who, even though they're entrepreneurial, they're quite observant of their surroundings, and they're quick learner is also what I feel. That's why there's this fast-paced energy of putting two and two together with this person. And I think that they could have been on their spiritual journey for quite a while. I'm getting a few years, at least 2 years. That doesn't have to be, but for some people that's a confirmation that you've been involved with this person for 2+ years. And they are somebody that is quite introspective, and they do realize that everything that they were doing is because they didn't feel worthy of this connection. And I think that you are yourself quite intellectual. You are a match to this person. This person definitely feels like you are incredibly smart. You are talented yourself, and you also kind of share maybe the same childhood background. So they understand how you both are quite prone to being solo riders, but I also see that they understand that they want this with you. They don't see any. I'm hearing that song by 50 Shades of Grey, because I see nobody, nobody but you. So that's a sensual movie, but that song really talks about, like, I still can't see anybody. I understand that I gave up on this situation, but it was because of my own fears. I think that this situation or this relationship is unattainable for me. So I just gave up upon it before it would lead to a bigger heartbreak for me. All right. So you are not good enough, Virgo. And we do have 15 over here with the message in the bottle, which reduces to 6. And Virgo does rule the 6th house. So this can talk about a regular habit that this person has, a perpetual habit, I would rather say, that is about not being able to express how you feel. So instead, maybe at that point of time, at that critical point of time where I feel like time was of the essence, where this person could have just expressed that I don't feel safe in this situation. I'm facing difficulty in believing in the success of it. And maybe you could have reassured this person. And I think that this person was not able to just show that part of themselves, which is scared of getting hurt. And all they needed was just a little bit more support from you, so that you both could come to a peaceful resolution and see things from a higher perspective with each other, and understand that, this would require work, but I'm not giving up on you. And that's probably what they needed to hear from you, and you needed to hear that from them as well. So they understand that they need to clearly communicate. And I think that this ability, I wouldn't be 100% sure that they are still cognitively understanding the requirement of vulnerable communication, but I think that they do understand the core wound, which is like they didn't feel worthy of you. They feel this sort of like inferiority or just compared to you. I think this person puts you on a pedestal, and sometimes the con of putting somebody on a pedestal is that you just make them perfect. You don't understand that they also have their flaws as a human. And I think that when you were showing your insecurities or your fears or your concerns, this person used to kind of just become a little bit agitated, because they were like, I thought that you were all good, right? They probably thought that you're too flexible. And I think that could be the reason why they probably thought that you're complaining too much, or they could have perceived you in a way where it was out of judgment, and it was judgment for self. Whenever you're hurtful to somebody else, is because you're hurting inside, right? A very judgmental perspective towards themselves, and then it was projecting onto you. So that's the reason why they probably could have thought that, this is not going to work out, because this person is maybe asking too much from me. And that might not be the truth, pile number 3, but I feel like they felt incapable of giving you what you exactly desired. And that is the reason why I think that I think that this person is also psychic as much as you are, and they probably saw this neediness within you. Now, this is not to make about you, but it's just to make it notice. The candle went off. It's just to make you notice that this person also sees your flaws. And the reason why they weren't able to be compassionate towards yours is because they weren't being compassionate to their own flaws, or let's just say their own wounds, because they were avoiding them. So they avoided the whole situation altogether. Lastly, we have Come to the Edge in reverse. Number 36 reduces to 9, closing a cycle. Mending 52 in reverse, which is reducing to 7. And lastly, we have Healer. Shadow attribute, taking advantage of those who are in help, failing to care for oneself. This really highlights your reading. Failing to take care of oneself. I feel like with Come to Edge and Mending in reverse, this talks about inability to take care of yourself. That is the reason why they probably gave up on this situation. Now, the first card that we had, Bastard of 174 Hearts, is a very powerful card that denotes the energy of all the cards in this reading, which talks about an avoidant attachment style. In a way, I'm paraphrasing, somebody who keeps working and forgets to tend to their own heart. And I think that this is the energy where this person realizes that they failed themselves. They just did not fail you or the connection, but at most they kind of failed themselves. Come to the Edge could be a past energy. Yes, Spirit confirms it's a past energy where they had the time to heal themselves, to take that time and just tell you that they need this time, or however that situation pans out. Every person operates in a different manner. But they kind of just had to let you know that they're not healed in this aspect, or they couldn't even see that. Spirit is saying they could see that part within them which becomes non-collaborative because they don't know how to cooperate with themselves in those situations. You know, it's almost like accepting defeat within self, and that's why you accept defeat for the situation. Oftentimes we back down from difficult situations not because they're too difficult to tackle, it's because we already think that we're not brave enough to tackle them, right? So that's something that maybe you also needed to hear, is that you both might be mirroring a little bit where you are accepting defeat about the fate of this connection. All right, so before we conclude, I do have advice for you, pile number 3. You have accepting challenges. This confirms what I said. Thank you, Spirit. Trust your inner resources. And we have heart of the matter. Align life's pathways through the heart. Maybe you have lost your grace, or the grace within your heart, or the pride that you have, moving forward with your instincts, leading your life with heart. And I think that this situation has tainted a little bit of your perception that maybe being unemotional is the best way, or sometimes it's good to not let emotions get the best of you, which applies. But when it comes to this matter of heart, I think that it's important that you still listen to your heart. It's not for you to ignore the challenges that are presented. It's for you to just trust your intuition and the process and surrender to the situation. I think that there is reconciliation in cards for you. I think that things will pan out in the future, but it would lead up to that potential or that person that you will build up that can meet this person and this person as well. So if you're the feminine energy, the advice is, even if you're not the feminine energy, gender non-specific, the advice is to keep filtering out the matrix from your heart. Don't accept defeat, because there will be a lot of times when you will be such a good-hearted person that people will try to taint that. But it's the power of a true alchemist that keeps repairing itself, keeps purifying itself, right? All right, so keep listening to your heart, pile number 3, and don't accept the defeat of the challenge just like your person might have. Okay, this is not to compare both of you. You're both very different in your own ways and definitely very lovable, so don't accept defeat in this situation. Trust that you can get through this with your person even when you're apart. All right, so this was your reading. I really do hope that you found a message that was helpful. If you did, please do hit the like button, subscribe for more, hit the bell icon so you know whenever I upload next. Let me know down in the comment section how that resonated, and I'm going to see you guys in another one. Bye.